Forta Furniture is a Romanian-based furniture manufacturing company that is seeking expansion into Western Europe. Marita Petrescu is the Chief Marketing Officer of Forta Furniture and must compose a strategy for their expansion, given that the company decides to go forth with their decision. There are always a plethora of factors to consider, such as what specific area or region should we expand into, how much money and resources will it cost us, will we be private label, which is basically manufacturing these furniture pieces and selling it to retailers, or a customer facing brand, which basically means Forta Furniture is our brand. And also, exactly what is our desired rate of speed in order to successfully expand. Petrescu has composed two reports with opportunities to expand into Poland and or Bulgaria. These reports compare and contrast several of the factors that I previously stated with respect to the furniture market and also emerging channels of distribution. We review the reports along with our Abillet acquisition information in order to make a plausible decision on whether or not Forta Furniture is capable of growing and successfully expanding into Western Europe, or even if Abillet is more capable of taking that further step over Forta Furniture. Once again, we will analyze the reports to come up with the best decision and strategy that is viable for us. The analyzation of key factors is what really determines whether any company is able to expand into specific areas, especially in order to grow their company and or become more profitable if profitability is their objective. Firstly, knowing a nearby or overseas audience is crucial in the profitability of any company. Forta Furniture, in this instance, is the company. When Petrescu collected data as it pertained to Romanian customers, the conclusion was that Romanians were price sensitive. These consumers, this specific target market, really paid attention to the price. However, the younger generation focused more on comfort and aesthetics of the products, and if they had the disposable income to do so, they would absolutely spend the extra dollar for a nice piece. Moving on to company background, Forta Furniture's company background is vital because if the company is not strong enough within its domestic areas, how can it stand on its own 2 feet in foreign markets? Alfred Muria began the business in 1992 and developed Forta in 1994. And he was selling pieces he made from scratch to his consumers. Throughout the history, Forta has sold around 1.1 million units per year with an average price of $91 a piece. They have 2 large manufacturing plants and have always operated using a cost plus pricing practice where an item starts with a variable price and is then marked up 40% to establish a retailer price. It is important to note that Forta still needs to develop better customer insight in order to establish a better pricing practice. So moving on to the Abillet acquisition, this is significant because in 2013, Vasil Miria, who's the current CEO of Forta, acquired Abillet, which is a popular wooden furniture company also based in Romania, in order to reach a younger customer base. Abillet solely by itself has solidified its brand image by running successful marketing campaigns that appeal to the younger generation, that has a more modern lifestyle and they're into trendier things. The most important thing to note here with this acquisition is that both Abillet and Forta, there is a mutual benefit there. Forta can utilize Abillet's products, development, marketing, along with other expertise that they may have, while Forta is able to assist Abillet by equipping them with the latest plant technology that could possibly result in the production of over 400,000 units, which is, amazing for them. Lastly, we have to look at international growth, right? Statistics, patterns. By continuously studying statistics and patterns in foreign markets, Forta will be able to better prepare for production and distribution because of these reports. By understanding what area is the biggest revenue source, where that comes from, and also what product line it may come from, granted that there is one, could be chairs, could be dining room tables, could be lamps, whatever it may be. It is a bit easier to predict and forecast where and how many of what will be distributed and exactly what resources are needed in order to successfully do so. So I think it is quite safe to say that there are an array of benefits that result from expanding internationally, or companies wouldn't even consider it. First up, understanding foreign markets is not easy, especially if it may be halfway across the world, where consumer culture vastly differs from a company's domestic location. And with that comes a completely different lifestyle. However, For any business that decides to do so, they will be able to have increasing knowledge by collecting data through things like surveys, focus groups, etc. And also analyzing those reports can help them benefit if choosing to expand. New streams of revenue. Once a company has solidified their position in their desired area or region of business, Forta Furniture in Romania, for in this instance, they have somewhat guaranteed revenue if they've built customer loyalty to their brand, right? Choosing to open a plant in Poland or Bulgaria will take tremendous research and work, of course, but if they are successful in those countries, they have just gained a new stream of revenue, which evidently will aid in the profitability of their business. They will also have a competitive advantage, which is so important over their competitors who have not yet expanded, especially given that they dominate the furniture manufacturing market. This should essentially mean that their brand image, their pricing, and the quality of their items stand out to the customers, and that it aligns with their customer needs, the consumer needs and wants. Because they have also acquired Abelet, the companies will work in conjunction with one another, overall giving them an incredible amount of leverage. But this doesn't necessarily mean that they won't also be able to learn from furniture brands who are already very well positioned and established in Poland or Bulgaria. Lastly, foreign investment opportunities, they typically occur when the company is making enough profit and may even want to collab with another brand in order to bring in more profit. Hypothetically, maybe Forta Furniture or Abelet will want to team up with an interior design company for consumers who are looking to renovate or may want to hire an interior design consulting firm. So by investing and making this collaborative effort, the firm may utilize Forta and Abelet's furniture pieces in their ideas, which, they'll let their customers know about, they'll recommend, they'll suggest, and that will result in an increase in revenue and profitability, which that's the big objective for both companies. Forta Furniture has the reasons for and against waiting to launch in Western Europe. It is no secret that mistakes, especially mistakes made in new markets, are very, very expensive for companies to rectify. It is very costly if not enough research has been done to properly enter a new or emerging market, or if, for example, production rates, taxes, or even overseas laws and regulations have not been thoroughly analyzed and reviewed. Another reason for waiting could be the difference in population. We have to consider generational differences and how to best approach the younger and older populations in reference to their consumer desires and even their buying habits. Until companies can provide accurate data concerning the population in that desired market, evidently they cannot go forward with expansion. You must know your customer and or your target market. A reason against waiting to expand in Western Europe also relates back to the market. Sometimes markets are so large overseas or in different regions that it may take a while to get accurate data on them. Companies provide reports, statistics, and patterns over and over again until they are confident in their strategic plan to expand. Another reason for waiting may be income. In this instance, the analytical reports tell us that Poland is much wealthier than Bulgaria. The population is much higher, and the income per capita is twice as much as Bulgaria at 14,350 per person. Consumers in Poland have more disposable income and may be willing to pay the extra penny for a desired item as opposed to someone in Bulgaria that may not be willing to do so no matter how much they like or want a specific furniture piece. These reasons all play a humongous role in deciding the rate of speed at which Forta Furniture, or any company really, chooses to expand into nearby territories or overseas. After taking all factors, arguments, and reports into consideration, Marita Petrescu should consider two different options when deciding to advise Forta Furniture where and how to expand. If the decision is to expand into Poland, I believe the best fit for that region would be a private label entry by Abelet. Poland reports analyzes several key aspects such as country background, market background, channels of distribution, and customer insights. Firstly, let's focus on market background and channels of distribution. It is reported that IKEA has been growing rapidly in popularity among the population within the last 3 years. IKEA is a relatively more modern retailer selling trendier and polished items. As for channels and distribution, it is stated that more than 70% of Polish customers browse and or purchase their furniture across multiple stores and that they look for the best combination of price and style. Single brand retailers only account for about 30% of retail sales, so a branded entry is not logical or viable in Poland. Forta Furniture also is not the best decision because trendier items are valued more by Polish customers, which means that a private label entry by Abilit makes the most sense, especially if they are forecasted to have 4.5% market share in 3 years, as opposed to 3% if they were to enter the market as a customer-facing brand. Marketing investments are also the lowest of the four options at $4 million, which will save the company money overall in costs. If Marita Petrescu decides to advise the team to expand into Bulgaria, I believe that the best option for the market entry would be a branded entry by Forta Furniture. She takes into consideration all the previously mentioned factors: country background, market background, channels of distribution, and consumer insights. To begin with, Bulgaria has a much lower population than Poland, home to 7.2 million people in comparison to 38.2 million in Poland, which means there is also a lower GDP and per capita income. It's about 8,000 per person. After reviewing the market background report, it is stated that national furniture brands comprise about 70% of the market. So right away, a branded entry into Bulgaria is plausible. We know that this is the right decision for Marita to make because as we review channels of distribution, it is also stated that more than 80% of Bulgarian customers shop in one store for their furniture instead of browsing several stores. By analyzing these reports further, we can make a decision on which company is best fit to enter this particular furniture manufacturing market. It is decided that Forta Furniture is the best bet because consumer insights tell us that Belgian consumers focus more on functionality and durability and more established brands, which sounds exactly like Forta Furniture, by the way, instead of more modern, trendier companies such as Abilit. If Forta Furniture enters the market as a customer-facing brand, in 3 years, it is forecasted that they will own an 8% market share, which is relatively high compared to the other three options. Forta Furniture's marketing costs will be around $3 million and $500,000 for design expenses, with the retail margin being 25%. The best bet overall for Bulgaria would be a branded entry by Forta Furniture because this company has the history and tradition that Bulgarian markets desire.